The sharp whine of the plasma cutter echoed through the cavernous hull of the derelict ship. Blue light flickered against gleaming black metal, older than any human hand could have built. Dr. Arlin Chevalier's breath misted inside her helmet as she watched her assistant, Jin, pry open the artifact's casing. "Careful, Jin. We have no idea what's in there," Arlin said, fighting the tremor in her voice. She'd seen relics before, broken bones of lost empires, but nothing had ever thrummed with this unnatural calm. "It's open, I think," Jin replied, stepping back. The artifact, an obsidian sphere woven with veins of gold, hung in the air as though suspended on a thread of gravity. "Wait, it's moving," Jin gasped. Reality fractured around them. Arlin felt the floor dissolve. The ship's shadows grew and twisted, swallowing the light. Gone was the empty expanse of the derelict vessel. Now, stars spun at impossible angles, and time flickered like a faulty chronometer. "Dr. Chevalier!" The voice crackled in her earpiece, yanked from a distant memory. It was Commander Rivas, leader of their expedition. Only seconds ago he'd been searching the opposite wing. Now he stood beside her, his eyes wide with terror. "What have you done?" "I don't know," Arlin replied, clutching her head. Her mind pulsed with déjà vu, as if she'd already lived this moment 1,000 times. Jin's outline shimmered, doubled, blurred. Above them, the artifact began to pulse, its glow seeping through the shifting bulkheads. Static tore through the communicator, and shadows flickered in the periphery, a mosaic of timelines colliding. "We're not alone anymore," Jin whispered. In the unnatural glow, luminous symbols emerged, swirling around the artifact. Strange figures flickered at the edge of sight, elegant, not quite human, bound in armor that hummed with forgotten power. "This isn't just a relic," Arlin said. "It's a doorway." Commander Rivas steadied himself, jaw clenched. "Doorway to what?" The answer slipped from Arlin's lips unbidden. "Another world. Or maybe another time." Their hearts hammered. Somewhere in the infinite dark, the odds had never felt smaller. But Arlin locked eyes with her team, humans against the impossible. Whatever lay ahead, they'd face it together. Under the artifact's hypnotic hum, the journey through the veil of time began, and with it, the fate of humanity wavered on the edge of the unknown. "Hold formation! Nobody touch the artifact," Commander Rivas ordered, planting himself between the strange sphere and his team. But the rules of reality had already changed. The artifact's light pulsed, rewriting the shadows. Arlin's heart pounded as her suit's HUD displayed garbled telemetry. Time made no sense. The temperature pinged wildly between centuries. She tried linking back to the ship's AI, but static screamed in her ears. "Rivas, I'm losing my feed. It's like the ship's core keeps shifting, like we're unstuck in time," Arlin whispered. Jin's voice trembled. "I'm getting flashes, places I've never seen, people I don't know. Is that normal?" "Nothing about this is normal," replied Rivas. The commander scanned the room, knuckles white on his sidearm, a flicker at the edge of the light, tall, armored. The distant, ghostly echo of speech, musical, alien, laced with secrecy. Arlin squared her shoulders. "We need to log this. Document everything." A new figure stepped into clarity. Female, regal, shrouded in a silvery luminescence. For a heartbeat, the room silenced. The figure spoke, words resonating deep in Arlin's core, bypassing her ears. "Heirs of the Sundering, beware the veil. Time devours those who trespass unbidden." Jin's hands shook. "She's real, isn't she? This isn't just some vision?" Arlin nodded, stepping forward. "Who are you? Can you help us?" The figure's eyes were pools of starlight. "You have awakened the gate of Sarandor. Once breached, it binds past and future. You must choose a thread, restore the balance, or watch your reality unravel." Lightning rippled through the artifact, and visions assailed them all. Planets crumbling, cosmic ships bending and breaking. Not just one world at stake, all humanity teetered on the edge of oblivion. Rivas broke the spell, barking, "Arlin, how do we shut this down?" But Arlin saw it now. The layers peeled away. The artifact was more than a relic. Within its core, superimposed timelines danced, locking infinite outcomes in place. If she could understand the patterns, "Give me time," she muttered, falling to her knees before the orb. "Jin, help me scan the surface. Look for repeating sequences, anything that's not chaos." Jin obeyed, shaking but resolute. The rest of the team braced themselves as the atmosphere thickened. Mart, aware that their lives, and maybe every life, were bound to the choices made in the next few moments. Behind them, the alien figure shimmered, watching. A silent warning, or a silent hope. As Arlin's hands traced the sphere, time spun wild. Humanity's underdogs faced the storm, hope flickering. Survival would demand more than science. It would demand heart. Steam curled around Arlin's fingers as her scanners struggled to resolve the artifact's surface. Each pulse brought new visions, Rome burning, a moonlit future city collapsing beneath wave and fire, the flash of starships at war. Jin typed frantically, patching the data into his neural assistant while sweat prickled at his hairline. I'm getting a repeating pattern in the symbols. Looks almost like DNA, but with gaps like something's missing, Jin murmured. Arlin snapped back, adrenaline sharpening her voice. If these sequences are code, then maybe the artifact is waiting for us to complete it. A test, or a lock. Commander Rivas's patience wore thin as their surroundings refused to stabilize. The derelict ship flickered between states, once pristine, now hulking wreck, then back again. Time stuttered, reality gritted. Whatever you're doing, do it fast. There are things moving in the shadows. They turned as the alien figure reappeared, hovering inches above the deck, luminous blade in hand. Her features were both kind and stern, impossibly old, wearing scars made by eons of war. The blade hummed with warning. Your reality is leaking, she intoned. The veil is fragile. Summon your courage, or your future will be devoured. Arlin forced herself to address the apparition, steeling her nerves. If we fix the code, will it close the veil? Bring us home? A slow nod. Restore the pattern. Unite the shards. Remember, what is lost can be found within. Jin hesitated but stood beside Arlin, emboldened. I think the missing pieces are us, or something from humanity. Maybe the artifact needs to recognize us to stabilize. A cold wind swept through the warped chamber, and a new, dissonant presence crept in. Entities shimmering with malice, shadows of the ancient civilization's enemies. They moved with purpose, intent on seizing the artifact. We're out of time, Rivas hissed. Chevalier, this thing is drawing unwanted attention. Arlin met Jin's eyes. Let's do this. Feed your pulse signature into the pattern. I'll do the same. With trembling hands, they pressed their palms against the artifact. Blue-gold light lanced through their bodies. Pain spiked, but a new vision exploded in Arlin's mind. A great library, stars encoded into memory, a final key unlocking hidden knowledge. For a moment, Jin let out a strangled laugh. It's working. We're sinking. Wait, what's that? The shadows surged forward. Brace yourselves, Rivas ordered, drawing his weapon. Light and dark crashed together as Arlin, Jin, and the team clung to the one thread they could control, hope. In that maelstrom, the artifact's voice sang through Arlin's blood. Choice weaves fate. The battle for survival and understanding had begun. A burst of icy wind knocked Arlin backwards as the first of the shadow entities lunged. Commander Rivas fired, the pulse of his pistol glancing off the creature's spectral form. It recoiled, hissing, but only for a moment. The others advanced, their amorphous bodies weaving through time-stuttered air. They're not fully here, but they're enough, Jin shouted, ducking away from a claw that sliced through a panel where a bulkhead used to be. Static tore through his earpiece, and new timelines flickered, ones where he'd never joined this mission, or never been born at all. Keep them back! Buy us 30 seconds! Arlin called, voice ragged but determined. With Jin, she pressed her hand deeper into the artifact's surface. It hummed, feeding on their pulse, extracting memories and dreams alike. The alien guardian drifted closer, her ethereal blade singing in the air. She struck at the shadows, and each cry lit the chamber with of ancient battles long past. Your resolve forges the lock, she intoned. Weakness gives them purchase. We're trying, Arlin growled, sweat stinging her eyes as the artifact's code writhed beneath her touch. Jin's hand trembled, but he squeezed his eyes shut and surrendered another secret memory, his sister laughing in the rain, a moment of pure hope. Instantly, a section of the artifact's patterns resolved, glowing emerald. Rivas kicked a shadow back, eyes wild. Jin! More! Hurry! I'm doing it, I swear! Jin retorted, but there was something different now. He met Arlin's gaze, chin set. No more fear, take what you need. Arlin reached deeper inside herself, offering pain and hope in equal measure. A childhood lost to science, dreams left behind, and the burning belief that something better awaited humanity. The artifact's surface flared, and the shifting timelines slowed. The shadows screamed and faltered, two vanishing in a wail of light. The Guardian's sword swept wide, pushing back the last. "It's working," Jin gasped, relief briefly eclipsing terror. "I can see more of the sequence, Arlin." "Keep going," Arlin urged. "We're winning this. Together." Dimly, she sensed the artifact's purpose, unity, the spark of hope. Here, against the odds, humanity fought back, and for the first time, the veil flickered with promise, not just doom. The last shadow retreated, hunched and furious. Rivas lowered his weapon, chest heaving, sweat rolling down his temple. "We're not done yet, but we're still standing." In the artifact's glow, Arlin finally allowed herself the smallest of grins. The tide had not turned, but humanity, fragile and uncertain, had refused to break. Hope, hard won, pulsed like a second heartbeat. A heavy silence settled over the battered room. The artifact hovered between Arlin and Jin, no longer whirling but shining with a steady, inviting light. All around them, fractured images of ancient cities and ruined starships receded, leaving only the gentle hum of potential. Commander Rivas holstered his sidearm, grim but focused. "What just happened?" Jin inhaled shakily, brushing sweat off his brow. "I think we impressed it. The artifact. I mean, when we gave up those memories, it used our will, our hope, to push back the shadows." The alien guardian regarded them with something like pride. "Only unity and sacrifice can mend the veil. You walk the path few dare." Arlin was almost afraid to speak. "You called us heirs? Are we supposed to fix what your people lost?" The guardian's eyes darkened, distant. "We fractured the veil with arrogance and fear. Our greatest weapon became a curse. But you? Your kind may yet choose differently." Jin inspected the artifact, noticing a new ring of symbols. "Arlin, there's a new sequence. Looks like a map." Arlin leaned over. "Coordinates, maybe? Those aren't star charts, but timelines. Layers, like it's showing us where the next key is hidden, a flux node. So the artifact's not a single lock, but a series we have to close?" Rivas rubbed his jaw. "Tell me we're not about to leave this ship." A doorway shimmered into existence, rupturing the reality of the bulkhead. Through it, a swirling corridor beckoned, full of alien colors and unfamiliar constellations. The Guardian nodded once. "The journey binds fate. Stepping forward is yours alone." Jin's voice faltered, then found steadiness. "If we don't, humanity's timeline collapses, right? We're the underdogs, but we came this far for a reason." Arlin squeezed his shoulder. "You're right, we have to, for everyone." As the team braced themselves, Rivas set his jaw, determination burning in his eyes. Chevalier, lead the way. With one last glance at the faltering edges of their home reality, Arlin stepped into the portal. Wind and light enveloped her, recoding her senses. They emerged on the surface of a shattered world, or perhaps a memory, where time coiled visibly in the sky. Structures shifted between states, from shining towers to ruins and back again. The artifact in Arlin's hand pulsed its next challenge, inscribing their arrival on the tapestry of time itself. Humanity kept moving, fueled by hope and grit. But each step forward meant their odds grew slimmer, and the consequences greater. In the shadow of ancient mistakes and impossible choices, Arlin and her team pressed on. Arlin blinked as the sky spun overhead, ribbons of past and future snaking through shattered clouds. The world beneath their boots felt unstable, as if memory held it together more than matter. They'd landed in a plaza ringed by statues that morphed between lifelike and eroded, each face reflecting a different epoch. Jin knelt, inspecting the ground. "Look at this. Shadows move the wrong way. It's like parts of the day fight each other." Rivas surveyed the horizon, his every muscle tensed for danger. "Stay sharp. Anything could be watching." "Chevalier, what's the artifact showing?" Arlin adjusted the orb, now feather light in her hands. Patterns rippled across its surface, revealing a nexus point ahead, an ancient clock tower blinking between splendor and ruin. "It's guiding us to that tower," she said, "but every route shifts unless we move as one." As they pressed forward, the landscape buckled. Streets warped, collapsing in and out of moments from the city's history. Festivals, invasions, skies ablaze. Echoes of people flickered into existence. A woman weeping beside a broken robot. A child laughing amid falling leaves, all dissolving as quickly as they appeared. Suddenly a shadow entity erupted from a twisted alley, blocking their path. This one was larger, its form roiling with fragments of 1,000 timelines. Jin stumbled, panic in his voice. "It remembers us. How is that possible?" Because every choice leaves an echo. The alien guardian's voice rang across the ruins, though her form was nowhere in sight. This one binds regret and hope. Riva stepped in front, weapon drawn. Back off! The shadow did not move. Arlin swallowed, hearing the artifact's hum change, a deeper, desperate note. It wants more than memories now. It wants us to face ourselves. Jin looked stricken. My biggest mistake, leaving my family behind. With shaking hands, Arlin reached for him. You aren't alone. We're in this together. She stepped forward and faced the shadow. In a bold voice, she declared, I regret the years I gave up for my work, but I'm still fighting for something bigger. So are all of us. The shadow writhed, then split in two. Each half mirrored Arlin and Jin, replaying their lowest moments. Jin nearly collapsed, eyes shining with tears, but Arlin locked her gaze on her double and breathed deeply, refusing to look away. Beside her, Rivas closed his eyes, whispering a truth of his own. I lost good soldiers. If I can save one future, it will be worth every sacrifice. As confessions mounted, the artifact's light grew. The shadow screamed, then shrank, finally bursting into motes of gold that drifted up to the tower. A path uncoiled before them, steady, solid, and sure. Relief surged among the team. Jin wiped his face, new courage sparking in his eyes. That felt impossible, but if we keep going together, we might just have a chance. Arlin smiled, brave this time. Let's claim it. For us. For everyone. They stepped down the revealed path toward the clock tower, the artifact brighter than ever, casting their humanity as the most powerful weapon against the Veil. The team reached the clock tower's entrance just as the sun fractured into an endless loop on the horizon, beginning and ending 1,000 times each second. The tower's door creaked open of its own accord, awash with a silvery aura. Arlin's heart thudded. Every step toward the summit carried both the weight of threatened worlds and the hope that maybe, just maybe, they could repair what even legends could not. Jin, any updates from your scan? Arlin whispered, voice echoing off twisted chronal gears lining the spiral staircase. Jin checked his wristband. The artifact's pointing us up, but the sequence changes if one of us hesitates. I think it needs every one of us. We can't lose focus or leave anyone behind. Rivas placed a steadying hand on Arlin's shoulder. This is it. We hold together, or the Veil tears us apart. A low, ethereal voice greeted them halfway up. It was the Guardian, but different, fainter, almost pleading. Do not turn back. In the highest room lies the temporal heart. Heal it, or timelines will collapse. A shudder ran through Jin. Those shadows, will they come back? The answer came not in words, but through the walls. Flashes of prior timelines, teammates failing and being consumed by regret. In every echo, the group ended up alone, broken by division or betrayal. Arlin looked to her friends. This is the future if we fail. But look, every timeline where people trust each other, even through fear, that's where the path holds. They ascended hand in hand. The last door shimmered, revealing the heart. A crystalline engine pulsing with wounded light at the top of the tower, covered in fissures and swirled by shadowy tendrils. The artifact glowed hot in Arlin's palm. It's time. We have to heal it together, bring what we've learned, give what we cherish most. Rivas sighed. You saved my life back there, both of you. I'll give everything I am. He pressed his palm to the temporal heart. Jin nodded, his voice firm as steel. Together. Arlin closed her eyes, sending her hope, pain, and love straight into the core. For a moment, all three shivered as their memories mingled and magic rewove itself around them. The thrill of Jin's family, Arlin's lost hopes, Rivas's resolve. The fissures mended one by one, but as the last shadow began to fade, a violent tremor rocked the tower. The Guardian's voice echoed, strong now, full of warning. The adversary is coming, the one who shattered the Veil to begin with. Your greatest test is upon you. A cold dread coiled in Arlin's belly, but she looked to her teammates, not backing down. We've come too far to lose now. Let's finish this. High stakes, new confidence. Outside, reality bent sharply, warning them. Their struggle would decide more than their own fate. Humanity's future danced on the edge of the Veil. Outside the clock tower, the sky fractured under the pressure of something monstrous. Reality yawned open, and a dreadful hush fell. The artifact pulsed alarm, and the temporal heart flickered, as if bracing for an ancient wound to be reopened. A shape dissolved out of the swirling dark, immense, shrouded in broken armor, its face a collage of shifting, ruined timelines. The adversary's voice came first, an oily echo in their minds, thick with scorn. "Frail children, meddling with forces beyond your grasp," it thundered. "This veil was broken to spare my people from extinction. You cannot fix what you don't understand." Riva stepped forward, refusing to flinch. "Every civilization has its end, but you chose to leave all others at risk to save your own." The adversary's eyes crackled, darkness bleeding into the room. "Would you not do the same if the fabric of time offered you the power?" Arlin inhaled, straightening her back. "We're not trying to rule, we're trying to heal." Jin, trembling but determined, glanced between Arlin and Rivas. "The artifact, if we synchronize now, maybe we can counteract whatever it's trying to do." The adversary sneered. "Try then, witness your truth." The wall behind the entity rippled. Through it, dozens of possible timelines flashed. Humanity triumphant, erased, or enslaved by shadow. Each glimpse shook Jin's resolve, drew doubts to the surface. The alien guardian reappeared, her blade gleaming. "The choice is yours, as it was ours. End it, or let fear chain the future." Rivas put a hand on Arlin's arm. "No doubts. We're stronger together." Jin stared at his reflection in the bubble of the artifact, voice low but clear. "I believe in us, even if we fail." Together, hands pressed to artifact and heart, they poured every memory forward, loss and longing, hope and unity. The energy lashed out, slamming into the adversary. Time screamed. The adversary struck back, memories twisting, their sense of self unraveling. Jin lost in guilt, Rivas shaken by ghosts of old failures, Arlin seeing 100 lifetimes where she gave up. Shadows circled, trying to divide them. Arlin gritted her teeth, remembering her team's faith in her, and shouted, "We decide what shape our future takes. Not fear, not regret." As hope cut through the enemy's assault, the heart flickered brighter. They were down, battered, but not broken. Rivas snarled, "Hold on, both of you. This isn't the end." But the adversary only grinned, gathering power for a final strike that could end every possible future the team had fought so hard to restore. The fate of all realities hung by the thinnest of threads. The world roared at the clock tower's peak as the adversary loomed, condensing years, ages, and lifespans into one unstoppable force. Lightning arced from the ruins, and the temporal heart shrieked under the adversary's assault. Shadows writhed, trying to tear the team apart with visions of all that could go wrong. Rivas grunted, forced to one knee as guilt and past failures twisted around his mind. "I can't. If I just made better decisions, we wouldn't be here," he gasped. Jin, clutching at the artifact, saw his hopes flicker in the shadows. The memory of his family, lost across time, nearly broke him. "They need us. I won't let this be the end. Not again." Arlin staggered as doubt attacked, a chorus of all her regrets whispering from 100 timelines. But she saw through it. In every vision, humanity's flame endured, even if battered. Their worst moments had always spurred them onward, not away. Arlin shouted above the chaos, her voice cracking but fierce. "Don't believe the shadows. We have something the adversary never did, each other. We face failure, but we grow from it. That's our strength." Jin's grip tightened. He reached out, grabbing Rivas's shoulder, grounding him. "Commander, you showed me that courage isn't about never doubting. It's about choosing to hope in the worst moments." A brief spark lit Rivas's eyes. He pushed to his feet. "Damn right. I'm not giving in. Not when everything's on the line." The artifact surged with energy. The heart pulsed in time, the links between the team and all they'd sacrificed radiating outward. For the first time, cracks began spreading across the adversary. Furious, the enemy hurled a final wave, a torrent of shattered timelines intended to overwhelm and erase. But the team stood, side by side, united by pain and hope. The Guardian's voice soared. "You have learned the price of unity. Now show the universe what it can achieve." Arlin, Jin, and Rivas focused their thoughts, not on perfection, but on the stubborn refusal to surrender. They poured their memories, dreams, and each other's strength into the artifact and heart. An explosion of light engulfed the tower. The adversary's scream echoed across realities, a sound of rage and loss and final desperation. The shadows recoiled, then disintegrated, unable to withstand the force of unity and hope. Suddenly, it was quiet. The heart shone radiant and whole, and the artifact absorbed the last shiver of darkness. The veil began to mend, reality smoothing as threads reconnected across infinite timelines. But even as hope surged, Arlin sensed something unfinished, a lingering pain in the veil, a wound deeper than a single adversary's hatred or a few shattered memories. The cost of healing would not be simple. The Guardian appeared, closer now, her expression gentle and tired. The veil repairs, but its scars will remain unless you make the final choice. The artifact needs a sacrifice, Arlin Chevalier, not of a memory or a hope, but of your very place within time. Arlin's heart pounded. You mean one of us has to give up our future? The Guardian nodded slowly. One life to anchor a billion. You are the underdogs, but you are also the architects of tomorrow. Choose, and the veil will heal for all. Wait, and it will crack anew. Jin and Rivas exchanged silent, tearful glances with Arlin. The fate of humanity's future had come down to the most impossible decision of all. The weight of the universe pressed down on Arlin as the team stood before the repaired temporal heart. Silence settled, heavy with the magnitude of what the Guardian had said. Somewhere beyond the tower, reality stitched itself together in fits and starts, 1,000 timelines trembling, waiting for a single choice. Jin broke the quiet first, voice shaking. Arlin, it should be me. I'm no one special outside this team. You're the scientist, we need you. Arlin shook her head, tears shining in her eyes. Don't say that, Jin. We only got this far because you refused to give up, because you chose hope over helplessness. No one's just nobody here. Rivas put a steady hand on Arlin's shoulder. You both have changed me. I was lost in my regrets, convinced I had nothing left to give. It's not my future that matters. It's what you two represent. Maybe there's another way. Maybe we decide together. The Guardian's presence shimmered softly. Unity brought you here. The artifact accepts sacrifice freely given by the heart that understands its meaning. Arlin faced Jin and Rivas, voice uneven but resolute. If anyone should do it, it's me. I opened the artifact. I set this chain of events in motion. I have to own it. Or maybe, Jin countered, his eyes suddenly alive with courage, we give together, the three of us. Human history isn't shaped by single heroes. It's the messy, shared sacrifices that make tomorrow possible. For a heartbeat, the artifact's light shimmered with possibility. The heart's pulse responded, steady, warm, inviting. Arlin looked at her friends. Together. Whatever it costs. Jin and Rivas nodded, not with fear but with pride. They embraced in the center of the tower, each pressing a palm to the artifact, feeling the heart's cool radiance flow through their veins. Memories raced through them. Childhoods, discoveries, the faces of loved ones left behind, and new visions bloomed. A future where Earth rebuilt with wisdom, where humanity explored the stars not with conquest but compassion. The artifact glowed blinding gold. Energy surged, not erasing them, but weaving their choices and sacrifices into the veil itself. A pattern of resilience, hope, and unity. They felt themselves slip, time dissolving around them, not as an ending, but an evolution. When the heart's light faded, the Guardian gazed upon the results with wonder. 3 lives entwined, 3 futures offered. The veil is whole, scars mended by your joined will. On worlds across the galaxy, people looked skyward, feeling peace for the first time in ages. History rippled and settled. The artifact, now inert, became a symbol. Remembrance not of fear, but of what hope, sacrifice, and trust could achieve. In the rebuilt timelines, Arlin, Jin, and Rivas lived on, in ways no one could quite explain. Guiding, inspiring, their presence felt in turning points and simple kindnesses everywhere. Humanity, the undying underdog, walked boldly into the future, unafraid of time's shadow. The greatest odyssey was not just survival, but growth. And the knowledge that even at the edge of oblivion, together, they could be more than the universe ever imagined. The veil of time was healed, and within it, humanity's defiant spirit would echo forever.